Hi everybody! So this is going to be my third installment, I guess, of my little series where I go into a deep dive for all of the strats that I use in my speedruns. Specifically the ones that I use to get my first sub 11, my 1048. So this is good. This is the third installment, so we're starting on level 30, and I'll go up to where I deem fit. So let's just get right to it. So starting with level 30. So, what you're supposed to do normally is you're supposed to throw book across like this, and then catch book or catch match with book like that. It's not terribly slow, and it's a strat that's completely fine. But I like to go a little bit faster because speedrun. So, I like to be able to get both book and match across in the same jump without having to do like one jump and then two jumps like that. So the first thing that you could do, there's three options. I'll go through all three of them. I'll tell which ones I prefer and why I prefer each one. I've actually used all three of these in my speed runs. I just got a Facebook notification. That was me. So the first one, probably the riskiest, but also the most simple, is the throw jump. Just throw jump like that, and hope you make it across like that. This is a funny glitch that can happen if you're like barely in the ledge. You'll get clipped down here, but that's completely fine. Just slows you down a little bit. I'm getting so many Facebook notifications. But yeah, so that's the first strategy. I'm getting this glitch very consistently. That doesn't happen all the time, I swear. I think you can also do it with match, but I don't know. Yep, you can. You can also do it with match. So I'm doing pretty good right now. But remember, because this is the very start of the level, I'm gonna go back to that thing that I said in the very first part of this little series, where you have to look at the runway. You have to kind of have to do that for this one too, because there's a ledge and this is a very precise jump. So that's the first method. Now we're gonna go on to the second method, which is the grab boost. I covered the grab boost in part 2 in level 21. I covered how to do it, but you can also do that here. I'm gonna start with match again and just grab boost across. Oops, don't do that. It's pretty consistent. It gets you a little bit more distance, so like, if you're able to do grab boost pretty consistently, I'd say this trick is a little bit more consistent than doing a throw jump. Doing that, like, that's a little bit less consistent, because you don't get as much distance as you do with the grab boost. But a grab boost is also very precise, and if you're not comfortable with the grab boost, this might not be a very viable option for you. So this leads into my third option, which is the one I used in my 1048, and I find it pretty reliable. But it's also the most complicated method, but in my opinion, it's the easiest. So what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna call a jump switch. That's what it's gonna be called for now. I haven't covered how to do this one yet, so I'll just do it real quick. It's a jump and then Z like this. Jump Z and then catch. So I'm gonna start with book because you get more height if you start with book. You're gonna jump switch, catch. Jump switch, or yeah, you want to start by holding match and then jump switch, catch. Jump switch, catch. Just like that. And if we do that here, you'll notice that actually doesn't get us enough distance. You see that? It doesn't quite get us enough distance, but what we can do after that is we can do a jump switch, catch, and then a real quick Z up. So jump switch, catch, Z up. Start with book though. Jump, catch, Z up. Jump switch, catch, Z up. And that will get us enough distance. Jump switch, catch, Z up. It's the most inputs that's required for these three methods that I described. But in my opinion, it's the most consistent and it's the most reliable if you can get them. I need to make sure my input display is working properly. Sweet it is, okay. But yep, so that's about it for level 30. You can pick whichever one you like. I've actually used all three in the past for my PBs, so it's not super precise. Or if you don't really want to use any of them, if you're not that confident, you can just do this original method where you just do that. like that it doesn't lose that much time. So we're gonna walk on the boost and turn around. You can choose whether or not you want to walk on them, which is a little bit more risky. Like it doesn't always work. Or you can choose to jump on it. That's on you. Just one is faster, but one is more safe. Just like most tricks in the game. Let's move on to level 31. So this level is very easy. There's cycles to make, but none of them are precise. I mean, ideally, like the IL uses a faster strat, but that is way off the human limit for IGTs, so... no, RTA. I meant RTA. It's way off the limit for RTA. So immediately when we come in, you want to switch to match. You don't have to do it immediately, but you want to do it so that you can fit under this gap, because if you start with book, you just can't fit under this gap. Like, it's kind of a problem. So we're going to switch to match first. I'm just going to do this real quick, because I need to... Nah, it's all... okay. So then we're going to jump up here. We don't want to just walk onto this because we don't have enough room to work with. So we're going to jump on it. And then we're going to do a throw, jump, catch, throw to get book up. And then what we're going to do is while we're still as match, like I'm going to do this again. Throw, jump, switch, throw. Or, yeah. We're still as match. And we're going to hug the wall with match. And that's important because we're going to do a glitch later. It's kind of like the glitch we did in level 22. Where we put like an object in front of match. And then we picked the object up with match. And she kind of warped through the wall. We're gonna do the same thing here, except with book grabbing match, and we're gonna do that while we come back, and that's just gonna save a little bit of time jumping over. I'll show you that in action when we actually get there. So this cycle is completely screwed up because I was just sitting around here doing nothing, but the cycle will be pretty easy to make. I'll show it on my next run through. Okay, this is a really bad cycle. Okay, here we go. Because I gotta talk to Lego Brick. Then the rest is pretty easy. We're gonna switch this, go here, and then ideal on the correct cycle, we'll have to wait a little bit here anyway. And then when we're here, we're just gonna grab match through the wall like that. And that saves the time it takes to jump over and grab match. And I didn't grab match, but you know. Alright, let me do this at full speed to show you. Switch to match, grab book, go through here, jump up here, throw, jump, throw, hug the wall with match, and then look at the cycle I'm on. Pretty easy to make. Flick the switch, wait a little bit, go, grab match. Easy peasy. This level is not easy peasy though. This level is doing it in the fastest way is pretty hard actually. It's kind of inconsistent. I'll show you why later. But we're gonna start by throw, jump, throw for book up to the top. And by the way, to do these kind of precise throw, jump, throws, because like okay, that was a bad example, but like just forget it. Yeah, throw, jump, throw, and then we're gonna jump and catch with book, just like that. And ideally, you'd be a little bit confused, like what? Don't we need Lego Brick? Don't we need to grab him or her or it and send it up here so we can make this platform? And the answer is usually yes, but we're gonna do a grab boost and save a bunch of time. So we're gonna stack up the HPRC, both parts of it, up to the door. The way I like to do it is I like to grab the receiver first, throw under the door, and then throw this on top like this. That was kind of a bad example because the receiver kind of hit the ceiling here, and it's a little bit not very far, but I'm gonna reset this. So I'd go over here. And normally it would land right there. And I like to throw the small one first because the bigger one is obviously wider and there's more room to work with. Like there's less room for error. And what we're gonna do here, we're gonna start with match, and we're just gonna do a grab boost into this door. However, you'll notice that it's kind of hard because there is a ceiling that we have, and we're gonna bump into that ceiling. And if we just do a normal full speed grab boost, we just don't stay in the door for long enough. Oh, okay. I did that on accident. But yeah, so we want to do a grab boost, but we want to make the grab boost kind of late. And the reason for that is that we're gonna jump up, we're gonna just sit there for a little bit. So then we start barely heading down, but then we do the grab boost, and we do that just so that we can stay in the door for long enough, because eventually we'll fall back outside the door, and it won't count. However, if you remember from what I said in level 21, if you watch that for grab boosts, grabbing or doing a grab boost when you're moving down or when you have less vertical speed, or upward speed, I guess. When you have less upward speed, it's a lot. It makes it harder to do a grab boost. I'm gonna do this over here. So like if I'm still moving up, like if I just do it right after my jump, like a grab boost is pretty easy. Like I can do this pretty consistently. My Facebook is going off again. Oh my god, shut up. However, if I like move down, you'll notice like, okay, wow. It's a lot harder. So that's just something to practice. You want to practice doing your up Z up when you do your mini grab boost as fast as you can. Just something to practice. Go through the door just like this. Just like that. Alright, 33. Just real quick. Ignore me. Just gotta do that because I exited the level. So the best strategy for this... Okay, hold on. Break it down. Can't just rush through it. We're going to start by grabbing match. And then we're going to throw match into this little area here. So that match can flick the switch. Actually, this is important. Flicking the switch does not actually matter. Normally, what you're supposed to do here is match goes in here. And then book comes up and around. And then you land down here. And I say that because what I just did there's a faster way to do this. It's a little bit faster, but it's a lot harder, and we're going to use that same trick that we used in level 31 to grab through the wall like this. So the fastest way to do this is we're going to pick up match, throw in this little chamber, and by the way, you can also do this without jumping. It's a little faster, but it's a little harder. It's on you. It's personal preference. So then when we're here, remember we need match to be up against this wall if we want the trick to work. So we're going to switch to match, move her against the wall, switch back to book, hold right, grab her, and then here you can either throw her with up or drop her with down. I like to throw her with up, and then I like to throw it up like this, and then keep walking. So then the key is that, remember, when book gets to around here, this bridge is going to break. So when book gets to here and the bridge breaks, you want to switch to match, so that match will... You want to switch to match and then hold right, so match will fall down here and land on the platform that's like way down here. So I'm going to see that in action. Throw match, switch to match once book gets to that part. Just like that. I'll replay all of this for you. So... Throw match over here, switch to match, go left, hold right, grab, throw, and then switch to match here. Yeah, you don't want to fall into this acid, by the way. You want to get the timing right. And then lastly here, I like to switch to book for this part because it's a little bit safer. Throw jump over. And the reason I say book is because book has a bigger hitbox laterally, which makes this very, very trivial. Alright, on to level 34. So level 34 is a pretty easy level. There's not a whole lot going on here. So you can start with either book or match here. I like to do it with book. You want to throw jump up here, that you don't have to like jump book over and then match. But you can also do it with match. Like it's not really that necessary. Don't do that. And then for this, you're gonna want to throw book over. You can throw match over, but it makes everything else a lot harder. Just throw book, just like this. So which means that if you start out with match, if you switch to match right away and then through this grab boost or throw jump, you don't have to switch. You can just throw book. But if you start with book, when you're here, you have to like switch, and then you throw book. So like I also like to switch on like mid-air like that. But that can be kind of hard. So I feel like if you're first starting out, it's probably just easier to start with match and just do this, so you don't have to do any trickery here. Then after that, we're gonna hit the switch, and then when we're going across here, and you want to land in here, there's actually no way to get into this gap here from here without slowing down. Like, it's just completely impossible. It's an ad. Can I close it? Yes, I can. Get out ad. I'm also going to close Facebook so I don't get any messages. Anyway, so the fastest way to get through this gap, slowing down as least as possible, is to first land on this yellow step here, and then buffer your jump so you jump immediately. Or, I guess, 4 frames after, if you're really precise. Anyway, you just jump over like that. And then, for tiniest amount of time, you want to release left. So, kind of like this. Here's what it looks like. And the reason I have to briefly let go of left is because if I don't, I'll clip this spike and I'll die. But that's the fastest way to get through this part. Then you just jump over here. We're going to recover match fastest way possible. Use your thumb on the down key. And then for this part, there are a few ways to do this. I know that, like, what's done in the ILs is you do this. See, that's why I don't like doing it, because it's really inconsistent, but like that. Like, that's what's done in the ILs. That's the fastest strategy. That's the way you don't slow down at all. But it's very inconsistent because sometimes match dies on the spike for no reason. So what I like to do instead is I like to switch to match here, pick up book, throw book like that, and then pick up the HPRC, go across. Ideally, if you have a good throw with book, book will end up bouncing to like here. But this is fine too, I guess. Just bring book over. And now we're on to level 35. So this level is, well, the way I do it, it's a challenge. It's a tough one to learn. But I do it anyway because it's the strategy I'm going to show you saves quite a bit of time. So first things first, the fastest way to get over this gap, like instead of jumping over and then going like this and then switching to book like that, like that's just a lot. What we're going to do is just throw jump over the gap. This is a throw jump, just up jump. It's actually kind of precise. Don't treat this with grace, because if you jump too early, you'll do that. That's what happens if you jump too early. So jump at the right time. Then once we get here, we're gonna switch to match. Flick the switch. We're gonna throw book up. And we're gonna jump and switch to book and grab match. This is where the hard part comes in. Now, what I do for, well, what I did in my sub 11 is I do a grab boost with match, and I start here and I go up here to hit this yellow switch with match. Normally instead you have to go around with book like all around here, then you have to come back so that you can die. But no, that just takes too much time. It's too slow. So what I do instead looks like this. Got it first try. Haha. Looks so good. Oop, didn't get it that time. So here's exactly what I'm doing here. So I start by holding right, and then I jump, and then when I do the grab boost, I let go of right. And there's a reason I do that. See, I do a grab boost, and then a throw afterwards. Just like that. And the exact inputs for that are up space up, and then up again. So up space up, up. Or actually, yeah, no, sorry, space. I go space, up Z up, and then up. So up Z up, not up space up. Just like that. And then for this last part, when I throw match up, I press Z again. Yeah, I press Z again, and then I hold right so that match goes onto here. Looks like, oops, that was not good. It's very, very, very precise. Okay. That time my problem was that I jumped too early and I ended up going down when I tried to do the grab boost, which as I've discussed earlier, doesn't really work. Just like that. It just takes practice. There's a lot of inputs in a very, very split second. But something I do like to do, I will just say this is a very good practice tool. Use Cheat Engine. Download Cheat Engine and slow down the game. If you need help with that, there's probably some tip for it on YouTube or something. I'm just gonna open it up real quick, and I'm gonna enable speed hack. You can't see what I'm doing, but I promise I'm doing it. I'm just gonna slow the game down to like 0.25 speed. Apply. See, now I'm moving really slow, and this is just a great way to practice. So for this I can do. You can see all the inputs that I do, and it's just easy to time it this way. So I'm gonna do hold right, space, up Z up, let go, up Z right. When I said let go, I meant let go of right. So then you can also like speed it up. So now I'm gonna speed it up to half speed. I'm gonna do the same thing. Oops, that was too early grab boost. Same thing. Oops. And then you can just use that. You can just use Cheat Engine to practice that over and over again, and you can slowly work the speed up until you're able to do it confidently. And it's a very useful tool. I use it all the time, especially for ILs. But so before I'm done, I'm gonna show you the rest of the level. I want to real quick. Oh my god, my voice. Hold up. Agua break. I want to real quick mention why I let go of right. So you can absolutely do this while you hold right, but you'll notice book lands here. So that if I like do everything else I need to like this, and then I drop down, I have to do this weird maneuvering thing with book. You want to do this first throw jump with book. You see, book always lands there if I never let go of right. So I always let go of right so that as I'm controlling book, oh my god, as I'm controlling book, I will stop moving. You see, like, book stops moving, and that's why she doesn't keep going. That's why she just falls down here. And that saves the time of having to fall down later. Saves a second or two. So just like that. Take some practice. But that's the gist of it. So then when we're here, obviously we're going to flick the switch. Then we're going to go down here, flick this switch. And then as soon as we walk off the edge with match, we're just going to let gravity take her down. And we're going to immediately switch to book. Just like this. Save a little bit of time there. And then we're going to switch again so that we can actually make it through. Because we can't make it through like this. So we have to switch first. Then we're going to throw book so that she kind of goes into this gap. Can jump over. None of this movement really is too necessary. But, hold on. I'm just going to real quick do that just in case. Actually, I'll just do this. So yeah, I like to throw book here so she kind of goes into this gap. I jump over like this, switch to book, and then that. None of that's too important. Just try to go through. I mean, you can even just like do book and then match. It's okay because we're operating on a cycle here, which means that even if we go fast enough to barely miss the cycle, we still have to wait. Which means that you don't have to play perfectly, but like, I believe this cycle is like, it looks like 2 seconds, so you have to operate within like 2 seconds of perfection, which, it's reasonable. Like, that makes things a little bit easier. Obviously not if you're trying to make the extra cycle, that makes it hard. But I'll just cover this slimes quickly, so what we're going to do is we're going to start, we're holding book with match, keep that in mind, so we're a little bit shorter. We're going to go under the first one, go under the second one, go under the third one, and throw a jump over the fourth one. And then we're going to drop book while we do this trampoline thing. And that's because if we don't have enough height. So we drop book. And then here, you have the choice of either throwing book across or throwing match across. I feel like throwing book across is probably easier, but I've just gotten used to throwing match over, so it's up to you. I don't know if there's a difference. Um, but you have to make sure this jump is precise, or this throw is precise, so you don't kill either of them in these slimes here. Like if I like barely miss it, oh no, and then I have to like go back and recover. Um, okay, anyway. But yeah, once you get one across, what I like to do is I like to jump first and then switch, switch characters to hit the switch. So like if I just threw match and match is over there and I'm book right now, I'm gonna jump with book, switch to match, and do that. That just saves a little bit of time. It's a little bit more risky, but it saves time instead of like switching and then going. But that's all I really do. It's just all these little strategies that save fractions of a second, like individually, but all together they save a lot of time over the course of a run. And ultimately, I would not have a sub 11 without those little optimizations. So hey. Anyway, let's move on to level 36. Level 36 is the long boy. It might be the longest level in the entire run, actually. I'm not sure. It's close between 17, 29, and 36 as to which one is the longest. But 36 is a long one, so this first part is actually the very hardest part of the run. Not the run, of the level, in my opinion. Well, this section over here that's coming up is hard too, but this one matters more because you can lose more time. So the way we want to do this is we want to stay on this conveyor at the start as much as we can so that we don't like clip this edge. Like you can see there, I kind of clipped this edge here. You want to jump early enough so that you can avoid the edge, but late enough so that you stay on these conveyors for as long as possible. Because ultimately, you might need that time. And you'll see why in a sec. So if you have a good jump, or actually let's just say you made the jump, okay? This spring here, you want to make sure you avoid the spike and get over to this thing over here. This is precise. This is not easy. I just died. It's not an easy jump to make. Like, I miss it all the time. But you got to make sure, it's important that you have enough rightward speed. That I had nowhere near enough rightward speed, and I also hit the spring like in the middle. Gotta hit the spring on like the very right side and have a lot of rightward speed. Pretty much maximum rightward speed if you want this to work. That'll just take some practice. And then depending on how fast you did this first part and how fast you did the spring, you will be on a different cycle here. So, and also real quick, with this spring, you're actually able to hug and go to the left. You don't have to like go to the right first. I noticed, like, I believe Ant likes to go to the right and then jump over. You can just go to the left. It saves some time. Come on. You don't need to do that. You can just, oh my fucking god, this is a hard level. But I'll just show you some of the examples when I do this to see what kind of cycle I end up on with these spikes. So let's go. I missed the spring. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, I'm going to go under, and I'm going to quickly turn around and go through like this. Now if you actually go at max speed when you're on that cycle, you'll die. So like, let me show you. So like if you're on this cycle and you go like max speed, oops, that was too fast. Let me try that again. And I go like max. Come on, man. Come on. Level 36 is ruining my life right now. Gonna go under. Let's say, oh crap, I went too fast. There's a chance that you could die on one of these spikes if you do that. That time I was actually too slow. But you gotta make sure that this turnaround on this switch is pretty good, so that you don't die like that. Even if you die, it's actually not the end of the world, though, because you can just switch to match and recover book. Come back here. It's actually almost as fast. It loses, like, maybe 1 second. But let's say you're, like a little bit more risky than just making that cycle. There are 2 faster cycles that you can make. Let's say you're, like, barely faster. What you can do here is you can jump over this spike, and then jump over this spike when you come back. I died on it because it's a little bit harder, but if you time it right, it saves a little bit of time over doing all this. It also saves time over dying on the spike, because recovering book takes a while. So I'll do that one more time. And that is usually the fastest way to get through these spikes. The fastest way to do it, and the way I think messed up... Oh, no. I messed this up in my 1109 world record. And it cost me a boatload of time. Is the fastest risky strat. And it looks something like this. Not like that. Looks something where you go under the spike. I'm not going to make it, but if you play perfectly, like you have a perfect conveyor jump, and you have a good turnaround there, like my turnaround was kind of bad, but that was better. I don't know if this will make it, though. Come on, I want to demonstrate this once. Come on, man. Come on, one time. Please. For the people. Just like that. Then you can jump over the spike. That jump over the spike I did was actually really precise because I had to slow down on this ledge. But that's the fastest strat that I sometimes go for if I'm feeling especially good about how I did on these beginning parts. Unless I did, like, completely flawless, then I will always go for the thing where I jump over the spike. Like, the next fastest cycle, basically. So that's all there really is to this first part. That's right, we're done with the first part of level 36. Then we're gonna hit the switch and then come back. And there's a very, very important reason we do that. So now we're gonna come up with match, and we're gonna grab book like this. And what all of this does is it keeps this switch pointed to the left. And that skips a whole section of the level. Like, that is a huge time save. So now we're going to switch to book again and do this next session. This section is really hard, but it really is just timing. There's not a whole lot to teach here. Just gotta practice. Oh my. No, I reset. But yeah, that section really is just timing. I do have a few tips for it, though. Remember, it's okay to die here. You don't have to reset. That's the nice thing about this level. It is pretty forgiving if you die. And also, when you're grabbing book here, it's important to jump a little bit. You want to buffer jump, because you want to spend as little time walking against the conveyor as you can. So you want to jump, buffer jump, and then grab book. So my tips here are, I talked about this in level 18 a little bit, but you don't want to go like you don't want to like repeatedly spam left to go a little bit slower. That is just really inconsistent and it won't work very well. You just want to work on your timing and just stop when you need to on each jump. Like while you're still near, like stop, stop, stop. It's just more consistent that way. Stop, stop, moving. Obviously it's not perfect, you still need to time it, but all comes with practice. Come on, man. I'm not warmed up. Once again, as with both of the last two episodes, I just kind of like turn my OBS on and start recording. And then for this jump, it's very precise. You have only a few frames to work with, but I messed it up. Jumped too late. Come on, man. I'm also lagging a lot. This is a laggy stage, so it doesn't help. So then I get over. And then the last trick to talk about, it's a small time save. It's where when you jump down here, or when you land down here, it's possible to actually land in this area here. If you land in here, you'll have to avoid, or you can avoid recovering book down here, which saves a few seconds. It saves a few seconds to not recover book. You can go down here and you can just jump over here. So I have a setup to make that kind of consistent. So what I do is after, like, when I'm going to hit the switch, I run all the way to the right wall, and then I press left, and then I jump. And then I buffer jump, and that will usually make it work for me. Like this. And then, see, like that time it worked, which is fantastic. I'll try it again. It's way too early. This is probably like, it's not as complicated as the other section to the left, but this is probably the hardest section of the stage. So I'm gonna do left up, or left jump. Oops. And if you ever like pussy out, if you ever need to pussy out, you think you're gonna die, I'd say usually don't. I'd say just try to go for it, because like having to like come all the way back is slower than just dying. So don't be a pussy. So that one worked. It won't always work. Sometimes you'll die, but I gotta keep going. This is taking a really long time to get through. I'm gonna flick the switch, come back, just like we did in the yellow room. This is gonna skip another room. I'm gonna come up here. There was a thing I wanted to share though. I don't really want to do this stage again, bro, but it's for the people. It's for the people. There's another thing I want to talk about. Come on. Come on, what the fuck? I need to calm down. I'm not speedrunning. For the people. So I'm gonna get back to that part where I'm on the conveyors. Buffer jump here. Uh-oh. If you do this, make sure to keep the switch facing left. If you ever like switch to book and like do some weird stuff. I'm sure Match can grab book. Good timing. That did not work. Sometimes it doesn't work. There's not a whole lot you can do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flick the switch. I'm going to come back as usual. And then when I do that, I'm going to immediately switch to match. You know, come across here, grab book. As usual with the other one as well. With the other part that looks like this. But then when I do that, I'm going to immediately throw book into these little zappy things. And I'm going to kill her. And that is because the fastest way to get through this whole section is to recover book down here in this little section. And so then, these will start coming. Hold on. It's an ad, I can't skip it, okay. Then what I'm going to do is that the HBRC is going to come down. The receiver is going to come first, followed by the crank. It's going to come down here. So then, when they both bounce up, I'm gonna have match around here, and I'm gonna quickly grab the receiver end. I'm gonna turn right, and I'm gonna throw it down here through this zappy thing. And that is because it saves a little bit of time, so that I can recover book faster. Basically, I'll show you what that looks like now, because I don't want to take too much time talking about this. So I'm gonna do this. Come back. Grab book, kill her, grab the receiver, throw it, and then I'm going to crank book while she's up here. I messed it up, but I can start the crank and book will appear down here. Saves a little bit of time. I messed it up. I don't feel like doing it again. You can watch my world record. I do it there. So I'm going to go up here, switch to book, jump over, and then bring match over to level 37. So this also has a pretty tough strat. I wouldn't say it's that tough though. It's hard to learn, but once you learn it, you'll see it saves time. So first, I'm gonna turn around, grab match like this, wait for the right cycle, then I'm gonna throw jump. I'm gonna throw jump, catch throw, and I'm gonna do that in a way that match lands up here. Do that again. Throw jump, catch throw, just like that. This saves time because when I do this, I'm going to immediately switch to match, and I'm going to go up here and start doing this thing where I go up and down, up and down. And ideally what you do is you do match first, you do up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then when you're here, you'd be like, okay, then I switch to book, and then I go through. However, it's kind of slow. Like, obviously doing this is a little bit tedious for no reason. But Luckily, I'm here to help, and I have a faster solution to do it. So, like, when match gets to here, I immediately switch to her. Let me see if I can do better. I immediately switch to her, and I start doing this. And then, I'm going to do this thing where I move, while match is going to the right and jumping up, I'm going to move both match and book at the same time using Z presses. So the method I exactly use is I go like this. I do Z and then Z in space. Z, Z space, Z, Z space, Z, Z space. And while I do that, I'm going to constantly be holding right. And I'm always going to jump. I'm always going to start jumping, or I'm going to switch the first time when match is like under this yellow block. So like Z space, Z space, Z space. That's what it looks like. Z space, Z space, Z space. Or, I don't want to say Z space because it's Z and Z space, but I don't want to be like Z space, Z space, right? So Z space, oops, not like that. Z space, Z space, Z space, Z space. I'm gonna jump over. Z space, Z space, Z space. Z space, Z space, Z space. Just like that. And you can see, instead of Book being all the way up here where she started, she's all the way down here now. So I don't have to move as far after I switch to Book. That's all I really have for level 37. It's just timing. You have to get used to the rhythm. But it's just the fastest way to complete the level. Alright, 38 next. So, all of these levels are really complicated. You know, we're working our way. I want to try to get through all of this. I don't really want to end the recording. So immediately we want to switch to match, and we want to go over here. And obviously we're going to go flick the switch back and forth. But it's worth noting that we're not going to grab all 5 boxes. In fact, we're only going to grab 3 of them for the fastest strategy. I like to call this strat 3 box. So like when I say, oh, I'm going to do 3 box, like that's what I mean. I'm only going to use 3 boxes. And that's because it's faster, but it's harder. That's normal. So we're going to look at the, okay, calm down. Before I jump up here and I start doing the switchy thing, I'm going to look at this spike. And I see when it kind of crosses this corner here. Like a little bit after it crosses this corner. So like when the spike is like there, right? The spike is there. That's when I start jumping and doing the switchy thing. So like let me show you. So I'm going to switch to match, right? Wait for the spike, and then I start switching. So I go left, right, left with the bounce in between. And after only 3 switches of the lever, I'm good to go. I'll do it again. So left, bounce, right, bounce, left. Ooh, I went too fast. Make sure you don't go too fast. Left, bounce, right, bounce, left. Just like that. Now we're going to go down here, throw the wooden box, throw the metal box, jump and throw it. Because if we just throw it like this, it'll land in the lava. And then for this, we're going to throw jump. And we're going to put it down here. Then we're going to switch to book. And here, we're going to do another grab boost. This time, we're going to start with book. Because we're going to have to catch match when she's down here. And kind of like level 28, if you remember, if you saw that. Like, we needed to bring book up here because because book is too short. So if we try to jump book up, match can't catch her. So we're going to start with book, and we're going to do a grab boost. So up, 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 Z up. And grab boosts starting with book are harder than they are with match, but... So you're going to do up, Z up, and then up again. So space, up, Z up, up. Space, up, Z up, up. Just like that. Then we're here, I like to switch back to book. Align her like this. Switch to match, and you want to make this jump from down here to this box. Then jump up here, and then catch with book. Do that one more time. Grab boost throw. Switch to book, switch to match. Up, just like that. That's something you'll have to practice once again. But that's how you do level 38. Alright, let's move on to level 39. This one should be pretty quick. We're going to switch to match. We're going to wait a cycle. We have to wait a cycle so that this platform aligns properly. Then when we're here, we're going to throw book up and then switch and grab her. Pretty simple. might struggle with it for a little bit at the start, but just get used to throwing book at the apex of match's jump. Then just when you do that, you're good to go. And now we're on to level 40. So the way I do it is basically grab boost hell. I do like a grab boost here, and then I do a grab boost here. And in ILs, I actually do another grab boost here. But I don't do that in RTA because it's not consistent enough. But yeah, so this first grab boost, like that's a big gap. And normally you're supposed to like do this and then this. But you can save like a second if you do a grab boost. Now, this is really difficult because you have to time match right here, right barely on the edge still when you do this. And then you also have to wait a little bit. Because if you do the grab boost too early while match is still moving up, yes, the grab boost is easier, but you'll never have enough distance to make it across. So you have to wait a little bit. The trick becomes a little bit harder, but it saves time. So then when you get here, you're going to throw match, the yellow switch. Ideally, you'd still have speed, so when you throw match, she'll actually go all the way over here. That match should not have speed there. Make sure you hit the switch, just like that. I mean, even if match doesn't have speed, like if I like do this, I can still catch her in midair before she hits these spikes, and she'll survive. But yeah, then we do that. Then I like to do another grab boost here, like this. Saves a little bit more time. Normally you have to go up here and like do this. I just do a grab boost. And the last grab boost that is done in the ILs is here, just like this. However, I find that to be really inconsistent because if you're like a little bit too early and like you have to miss it, because you have to have vertical height for this one. And usually vertical height when doing a grab boost is harder than horizontal distance, in my opinion. It's just less consistent. But that varies between people. So what I like to do instead is like when I get here after doing this grab boost. Oops. Oh my god. You need to flick the switch so you have this platform available to you, by the way. Then you do this. Oh my god. Yeah, that grab boost is also a little bit risky, but I do it anyway. Then I like to switch in midair like this, so just a quick Z up so that I'm carrying book with match. Then I throw book up, and then I jump up, and then turn around, grab match like that. This will probably be the last level because this recording is a little bit long, but we're doing level 41. Sorry, I accidentally opened something. We're doing level 41, which is another hard one. Just back to back to back to back hard levels. It's crazy what this middle section does. But for this start, I like to quickly pick up match and throw jump like this. And then to scale these steps, I throw jump, throw jump, throw jump. I drop match here. And then I don't know what these are. I don't know if they're like blobs or just like I have no idea what to call them. I'll just call them blobs for now because I don't know. So you're gonna when you drop match and you jump up here, you're gonna want to pick up the first blob, and then exactly when to throw it to make this as fast as possible. There's actually a setup for it, and I'm gonna share that with you because when I first started, I did not have a setup and it was extremely irritating. But by the way, we're only gonna use 2 blobs for this. We're not gonna use this blue third one. And the way we do it is we kind of like we throw it and then we grab this second blob like kind of back to back like this. When we do that, this sets this one up perfectly. And then we're doing the second one, so we just grabbed it up. We just picked it up. We just grabbed it. We go over here, jump, and throw it kind of as far as we can. That was a little far. But after that, we could just jump over these. If you feel like this one was a little bit, like, if you don't feel confident with this one being kind of far, you can always just, like, do that real quick. Just make it a little bit easier. I tend to not do that because it's kind of slow. But then, as I just did there, I like to do throw jumps across all of these. just to make sure that I'm getting all the height I need to make it easier. So I'm gonna start over. Yep, so throw jump, throw jump, throw jump, drop. Pick this up, just like that. And then throw jump, throw jump, throw jump. Just like that. We'll skip this add. So then for this part, we're gonna do some more throw jumps. Throw jump, throw jump, throw jump. This is throw jump haven right here. I like to set match down here, and then we go up here. We're actually gonna use the exact same strategy we used for the blobs to make a bridge with the crate. So as soon as we get to this crate, we're gonna throw and pick up the next one, and then we're gonna jump and throw to get that one all the way over here. And then we're gonna switch to match so that we can do this. Or yeah, we switch to match so that we don't have to like come back and get match. Makes it easier to just switch to match. We're gonna grab and then throw jumps. You can do these throw jumps with book if it makes you feel safer. You can just like, when match comes up here, you can just switch to book. Because in my opinion, throw jumps are easier with book. And then if you're feeling really risky, you can do the throw jump up here. Like, the safer strat is like throw match first and then jump up, because if you mess this up, you have to fall all the way down here and go all the way back, which is a lot of time to lose. When you're doing throw jumps for height, it's better to start with match, because match jumps higher. So, yeah, throw jump with match. Make sure you don't fall. I'm pretty good at it, but if you're not, you can just do the safe strat. That's what happens if you are bad. Well, that's about it for level 41. Once again, just take some practice. I hope I'm not rushing through this or anything, but I really want this recording to be over. So, I'm gonna hop through, and I'll end on level 42 for the hopefully last installment of this series. We'll cover all the levels from the meeting of Ice Cube to the end of the game. And yes, so I hope this was useful. I hope this will make you a faster speedrunner. And I hope that all of the tricks I shared, you're capable of doing, you're capable of learning from all the tips I gave. And I guess, have a good night. Thanks for watching.